Hello all, my name is Rahul and welcome to this session on Java language. In this video, we will try to understand about the variables in Java language, wherein we will see the definition of variable, types of variables available in Java language, syntax of variables, and also we will understand the re-initialization concept of variables in Java. So let's start with the definition of variable. So variable, it says it is defined as memory location which can store the data, or we can say it is defined as memory location which is used to store the data in Java language. Now if you see the example here, so we have int. So int is a data type. So just to understand memory location, right? So memory location we will be getting from the data type. Each and every data type which we have in Java has the defined size in Java language. So if we talk about int, then for int we have 4 bytes, it means we have 32 bit. Up to 32 bit, it means the range from minus 32,768 to 32,767 we can store the value in int data type. So in the same way we have the defined size available for long, double, short, byte. If you want to get more information on data type, then I have already uploaded the lecture 7. You can go and you can watch it. For your reference, I'll also add this link of lecture 7 in this description box panel. You can go and you can watch it by just clicking on it. So just to make you understand, this is a memory location. So yeah, int is a memory location which can store the value, or which is used to store the value. So what value we have? We have 10 value over here which we are assigning in the variable, and variable identifier name is, this is an identifier which we use just for our reference, so that we can understand, okay, this is the variable name where we are storing the value, right? So 10 we are storing in a value which is of int data type, right? So this is how we use the variable in Java language. So variable is of two types. So to give you more understanding on it, here we have something this. So variables, if we talk about types of variables, then we have two types: primitive data type and reference data type. And this has been classified into two parts. First one is local variables and global variables. So as a part of this video, we will only try to understand the types of variables, and in the coming lecture we will also understand the classifications of variables in Java language. So you can see the first type is primitive. So primitive is used to store the value directly. Why I'm saying to store the value directly? It means if you have any value, let's say I want to get output as 10 using the system.out.println in Java language. So in that case, what we do is we use the concept of variable where we just store the value. So value could be of any type. It could be of int type, or double type, or float type, or any other type. So with the help of identifier, this we call it as variable name, we are storing 10 value in it. And this a value is of which type? This is of integer data type. It means we can only store integer or whole number in this a variable, not the float or not the decimal numbers. If you try to store any decimal number, then you will get the compile time error and you will not be able to store it, right? So primitive data type is used to store the values, not any other thing. If you talk about reference variable, so in reference variable, this is same as like primitive data type, but the difference is in reference type of variable, we don't store the value directly. We store the address of that data type instead of storing the value directly in Java language. So we have a concept, object concept, that we will be understanding in the coming lectures. But to make this thing very simple, I have this example over here. Let's say I have a variable which is of int type, and the value which we have assigned inside a is 10. Now I want the same value to be printed as a1 variable in Java language. So in that case, either you can just say 10 over here, but if you say 10, then this would be an example of primitive variable, not the reference variable. So what we are doing here is we are giving the reference of that variable which you want to print, right? So here what we are doing is a has 10 value, and using the address of a, we are storing the same value inside the a1 variable. That's why this concept is called as reference variable in Java language, where we don't store the value directly. We store the address of that particular variable in Java language. Now, if we talk about syntax of variables, then we have a simple syntax available for a variable in Java language. So what we have is we have data type and the variable name. So variable name is something identifier in Java language. So rules and all we have already discussed in the previous video. So if you want, you can just go and you can watch it. So this is this is the declaration. We call it as declaration. Now, if we talk about initialization, then what we do is we just say variable name equals to value which you want to store, right? Variable name equals to value. So this is what we call initialization. Now, if we combine these two parts, then what we will get is we will get data type variable name equals to value. So you can directly store this over here saying this. So this is what we call declaration and initialization concept. So either you can use this syntax where you can just say data type variable name. So example would be int a. So this is the declaration where we have used data type as integer and a is the value, that is identifier name, and a equals to 10. So this is the example of declaration and this is the example of initialization in Java language, right? If you combine these two, then you will get declaration and initialization in Java language. So I'll say int a equals to 10, right? So this is the syntax we use in Java language to declare or initialize variables. So you can see this is of int a, this is declaration, and this is initialization. If you combine this two, then you will get int a equals to 10. Now, if we talk, so we will see the program as well in the coming lectures. So in the coming video, we will also understand the real-time examples, real-time programming of this. So in this part, I'm just covering the theory part of it. And if you talk about reinitialization, then reinitialization is something if you want to update the value of any if of any variable in Java language, then we call it as reinitialization. So for an example, let's say int a equals to 10. Now what I want is I want to update the value of a from 10 to 20. In that case, what you do is you just have to say a equals to 20. It means for initialization, what we are doing here, we are just saying variable name equals to value. So this would be the updated value. So this is how we do reinitialization. So this is declaration and initialization, and this is the concept of reinitialization in Java language. So for reinitialization, we have this syntax available where we use variable name equals to value, and for declaration and initialization, this is something data type, and this is variable name, and this is we are storing the value inside it. For reinitialization, we just use the variable name, the same variable name for which you want to update the value, and this is the value, the updated value which you want to print in your console or in your command prompt. So the syntax is very simple for the reinitialization. You just have to use the same variable name which we have used over here in the declaration and initialization statement, and value, the updated value which you have. So we will also understand the real-time example of this in coming video. So thank you for watching it. If you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye-bye.